What up, y'all? I know not everyone feels like listening to a 40+ minute poll plans video for the month, so I broke it up to abbreviate my thoughts in a more easily digestible way. I know half of y'all, though, ain't subscribed, so go ahead and do that. Like the video, leave a comment with what you think about the upcoming content and your plans as well. And if you want to see the whole video, I'll be providing a link to that as well. Check that out for sure. Thanks a million, and now let's get into what you're really here for, alright? Divine Brothers and Cloud of Darkness LD and Burst. I have a lot to say here, and not a lot of it's positive. Let's go over Cloud of Darkness's kit really quick. So they didn't get a rework, but they got an LD, right? It's a nice attack, a rebreak or an unbreak. I don't know. I still don't know what the phrase is called. AOE, and then it's a triple split AOE HP with refund in between. Very good, and the effects after are also very nice. The least important part is you get a skill 1 back, which, I mean, skill 1's kind of garbage, it's kind of filler, but it's nice for longevity purposes, I suppose. It's also a new buff, and this also comes with buff start on LD boards, but it's the important parts are HP damage up 20%. So Cloud of Darkness's damage is also going to shoot up. Crit damage is up 50%, which is huge. So when you're attacking a broken target pretty much, or you have crit rate up on the party, whatever, that's going to be very good. Damage is shooting through the roof there. And on break, similar to like Lightning, Ject, King, you name it, you get a second consecutive turn and it doesn't take up the turn count. So now COD becomes a better turn stealer. And the forgettable counter that she got on EX is now a lot better. Instead of just being a brave attack randomly, it's got an HP attack with refund afterwards. And this also changed nicely, so if COD gets attacked, it's a counter attack, and then because of the break condition, they actually take their turn back immediately, and this kind of plays into the BT and other things, but we'll get into that later. Additionally, the really fun thing now is that you can go beyond 5 overhead stacks of Cloud of Darkness thing, and the overhead stacks, if you aren't familiar, once you get to 5, skill 2 transforms into a laser, and it's really powerful. It doesn't consume it doesn't consume ability usage, and you can go above 5 stacks, but only when using the LD. So theoretically, you can do a bunch of LDs and get your darkness stacks really high, and like in the BT phase, for example, you can just let loose with a bunch of just souped up skill 2s. It's actually pretty funny. Coolest part though is that when COD's at 5 or more stacks, you get another HP damage up by 10%. So in total, that's 30% HP damage up when you're above 5 stacks, and that will make the souped up skill 2 or whatever you decide to do while those stacks are active even more powerful. It's very, very fun to see. The BT effect is similar to Noctis, where after a party member, including COD, attacks, then a follow-up happens, and it's an AoE Brave plus HP attack that's also pretty good that refunds COD afterwards. The follow-up also gives an overhead stack, so when COD's turn finally pops up again, they might be back at 5 turns, and if they break with it additionally, not only will they take their turn back, which could be potentially good or bad depending on your setup, friend unit, etc., but there'll also be another darkness stack. So you're getting your darkness stacks and your laser beam off like really a lot more frequently with the LD and burst now. There's no and this is later on a BT plus, but right now in the base BT, there is no party effect on that BT. It is just the follow-up. Heimer Plus is even Brave and HP split, obviously helpful, not very much to talk about there. As for call abilities, the base call is skill 2, but at the base. It's not the laser beam version, so it's an AoE, 100% AoE attack, and it's a full 1-turn delay everywhere. LD call, nothing to write home about. Attack up, slight, very small HP damage up, and Brave damage up. Not something I'd bring on purpose. I mean, we were in the era of Jack, Kurasame, and whatever calls, so I mean, you're probably not bringing a Cloud of Darkness call, let's be real. See if you really needed the AoE delay and the rebreak, maybe, but other than that, nothing to write home about here. A few other things, Gabronth is getting his Heimer Plus here, not anything worth writing home about. Not worth getting him either, honestly. Not worth picking up Gabronth here when he's probably just a call at this point. I think it's Charlotta, Balthier already has his 80, and it's someone, but you're not. The other ones don't really matter, whatever. Now on to what you've really been waiting for, and I've been alluding to this for a while. What do I think about Cloud of Darkness? Not anything to write home about, really. I don't understand the hype, and I think a lot of people's vision is being clouded by Cloud of Darkness's BT+. And let me, I don't know how many of you were around for Noctis in Chaos when his LD and Burst came out, but he was super hype, and Noctis was mega powerful. But a lot of people I've noticed and I've talked to have been like, wait, Noctis was hyped, but then I never felt the need for him, or I didn't want to use him. I'm going to put the same label on Cloud of Darkness. And also the other thing about Noctis was that he was kind of tricky to use, and he wasn't quite intuitive. And while he was very, very fantastic, it wasn't everybody's playstyle. So everyone has their eyes on Cloud of Darkness, and they see another Noctis analogy or similarity, where you saw the 0-turn runs for Noctis and him like making a joke out of content. But how many of you all were doing that, and how many of you all are willing to do that? Same thing is happening with Cloud of Darkness. There's a couple JP runners who do like crazy things with Cloud of Darkness, but these require tons of setup, smart play, the right plays, and probably took a bunch more tries than you realize. And the average player is not doing that with Cloud of Darkness. So thinking, and the biggest thing about that with BT plus clouding things, and I hate that this is a thing, you have limited, like, you know how limited you are on high armor plus, right? With blues, it's even worse with greens. And we have so much foresight on who's going to be green and who has BT plus and what we might want in the future. Are you willing to sacrifice Cloud of Darkness at that point for someone else you might want to green down the road? Probably not. I know there are some Cloud of Darkness fans. Don't let me deter you if you like the character. Don't get me wrong. But if you're pulling just on hype alone and being just saying, oh, you know, they're great in BT plus, not knowing the full context of it, and pulling them now when you're probably not going to use them that much, especially when they get relegated to friend unit, first off, you're much better going for Tidus in that regard, because Tidus will blow everything out the water and you'll be running a Cloud of Darkness friend. And if you have the choice between Cloud of Darkness BT and Tidus BT in the party, I feel confident saying most people are just going to run Tidus BT. Let's be real. I'll say it again for the people in the back. Do not let Cloud of Darkness BT plus meme runs on YouTube cloud your vision on what you want, Cloud, on what you want to do in the future. All right, think about it long term. You got like Jacked, Garland, Caius, Locke, Noel, Cloud, Zach, Squall, Tidus, insane BT plus is coming out, and that green that you might not even like on Cloud of Darkness just because you saw a couple meme runs and very powerful stuff that even you can't replicate, don't get buyer's remorse on this. Think long and hard about whether you're actually going to run Cloud of Darkness and whether you want to run them with their BT in the future, or whether you it's not your thing. All right, and in general, I honestly don't think Cloud of Darkness pre BT plus is that great anyways, and a lot of the JP players I know echo the same things. Obviously usable, don't get me wrong, I hate that I have to repeat that, but there's a certain subsection of idiots who don't understand the nuance when I say that. But like, it seems like there's a weird amount of hype around Cloud of Darkness, and probably because of YouTube, and I don't think it's going to pan out for most of the player base, to be honest. Additionally, without burst, after the 2-week synergy, you're probably not going to use Cloud of Darkness that much, because there's probably a bit more powerful options. Like if you got Tifa, you're probably going to use Tifa with Cloud of Darkness without BT. And additionally, with Cloud of Darkness's BT, like I said earlier, you can use that for like follow-up stuff. And again, you can do this. Don't get me wrong, but if you have if you're sandwiched between Tidus BT and Cloud of Darkness's BT, you can run the Tidus BT and Cloud of Darkness combo as a friend, and that just clears out content. So think long and hard about whether you're investing in Cloud of Darkness because you want to use them, or whether you were following the hype cycle. All right, there really aren't anything to write home about with LD only, but outside of synergy, honestly. That being said, am I pulling? Yep, going in tickets probably for the LD. I want to farm faster. The Divine Farm is one of the fastest ever. This is actually where JP got Auto Plus, so be thankful again. Shout out to the global devs. This is where JP got Auto Plus, and the Cloud of Darkness LD is going to make this a very easy farm. Additionally, and I recommend this for everyone like who might be a little low on resources, grabbing Cloud of Darkness's LD, because there's some tricky fights during Cloud of Darkness's cycle requiring delay, among other things, and Cloud of Darkness is a great option to get through these fights and craft the rest of your roster around their play. So for that as well, although I don't know how often I'll be using Cloud of Darkness. I might try it with some Deuce teams. I don't know what I'm thinking, but 2-week synergy versus current content is always, I think, well, not always a good idea, but right now it's definitely a good idea, I think, especially because some of the, I keep saying these fights are tricky, and they are. Depending on your roster. I'll get the base high armor. If I get the burst, I'm probably still not going to blue their armor anyways, just because I don't see myself using Cloud of Darkness much, but it'd be nice to have. Obviously, I never complain about a burst, but I think it's, unless you really want it, not worth the chase at all, for real. Think about the future in context, not just some highlighted meme videos, all right? Speaking of BT Plus though, reruns, Cloud of Darkness reruns with a skill 1 rework down the line, and LD board reworks where they're a bit more powerful, and their BT Plus adds a party effect where party gets HP damage up as well, and there's more HP damage up on the LD board rework, so Cloud of Darkness' output is a lot heavier, which is why you tend to see them still as a friend, but also as more as a main party unit, because you can double tap the BT effect. And then they're actually rerunning right now in JP, not with level 90, but just on a random banner. I forget who they're alongside, but you're probably not pulling COD at this point. And again, if you're thinking about BT Plus in the future, think about whether you'd green COD over some other favorites down the line. You can coast on a green in BT Plus era, and I should do a video on this to try to dispel any misconceptions. You can coast on like 1 green for a while. So again, don't tunnel vision on Cloud of Darkness BT when most of you probably aren't going to green COD anyways, all right? As for the fight, most of you all will never see the mechanics because you're not going to let the boss get any turns. Garland, Aranea, delay, COD, etc. You're never going to see most of the mechanics, and rightfully so, because it actually gets very toxic if you let it get turns. Just like ignore HP damage reduction effects, you get nuked, very nasty stuff. And additionally, I think it's either in the beginning of the fight or maybe like when they drop below like 80%, they disable all Brave gains unless they're delayed 3 turns. So if you don't have Cloud of Darkness in the party, and you're planning to run a delay team, you're best off with teams that don't do Brave gains, and they absorb Earth. So don't use Tola here. Well, unless there's Galaxy, well, if you use this Tola without Cloud of Darkness, that might get really nasty because you can't gain Brave gains and they absorb the elements. So yeah, not a good move. Also Rip Guy, I guess. Sorry, Sine but other than that, just like no turn them. I don't know what else to say about it. Tifa them down. The orb is +2 when they're delayed. This does not include break delay. That's the important part. You have to just delay them 1 turn. It's +2, so you need constant delays pretty much, and you can offset it a bit with summon and burst phase, obviously. And then Cloud of Darkness Friend, it's +15 when you delay them with 3 turns. So Cloud of Darkness Friend can give you some extra insurance on the orb if you need it. So multiple delayers on the move. Just don't let them get turns. Not much to say about that. Most of you all are going to take that path, rightfully so. I will be as well. For those of you who want a bigger challenge on the fight, I'm not the person to ask. so good luck on that. So if you don't have a bunch of good delayers, your roster is screaming out to you, pull Cloud of Darkness anyways. And that's why I said for most of the player base, it's probably just good to pull Cloud of Darkness for the 2 weeks. Knock out the challenge quest, knock out the synergy quest, because all these fights require some form of a delay. It's the move. In JP, I ran Cloud of Darkness, Garland, and Kurasame, just so the 2 party members could hit hard. I'm thinking doing a CODless run this time, actually. And I'm going to do probably Aranea, definitely, for the delay. I might do Aranea, Cypher, and a 3rd, maybe Bart's. That's what I was thinking, maybe? I don't know. We'll figure it out when we get there. But just as long as you bring 2 delayers, this is mostly free. If you bring 1 delayer, then you can weave in a COD friend and do some other stuff, so that might be possible as well. But the world is your oyster here. And that's it. Hope you all enjoyed the clip and found it informative. I do try my best, generally. If you haven't already done so, please like the video, comment what you think and your plans, and make sure to subscribe to my channel for more great content. The full video is linked, so check that out as well. Continue showing love. Good luck, everybody. Peace.